And I pray that there's another lady that lives up that way, Sherry, that goes down here to the church. She lives up in that same area. I just pray that whoever's in this fire, it will be not bad, that they won't have a place to go to, it won't have to make them leave, or if they do have to have a place to go, they'll find a place for them to be until they get their house fixed up. We just ask it in Jesus' name. Be with us all through this night. Keep us safe and watch over us. We just thank you that you help us with our whatever was making us sick and feeling bad. We thank you for getting food for us to eat today. Thank you for helping us with our problems, dear God. And just thank you and praise you and give you the glory. If we should die, me and Eric, before we wake up, pray, we'll first those will go to heaven. I ask it in Jesus' name, I pray, amen. What's he upset about?
Oh.
He was upset about something right here.
He wants some water.
I got him water.
He wants more though.
Water?
He wants water. I'm not kidding.
Go get him some water.
I was trying to get him some, and I was gonna put it in the cup and then let him drink out of the cup, but he won't. I think he doesn't understand what I'm trying to do.
I know what he wants. He wants you to turn the water on.
Praying for people. I gotta use. Montgomery.
Yeah. Well, you're standing on me. I'm a single mom. I've had a lot of those imposter syndrome moments, but everyone deserves to be in that room. Everyone deserves to be able to self-growth. My children watching me.
Oh, you thought you were going to switch into low kicks? That's a hard no. It's got a decent 102 attack, along with 92 speed, but the true damage is done with first impression. This is a priority stab bug move with 90 power that you can only use on the first turn that low kicks is in. Its ability Tinted Lens allows it to deal double damage to not very effective targets, effectively giving it no resists. We throw in Terra Bug to boost this, along with like a Choice Band or Silver Powder, and almost nothing wants to limit it. You can also use stab coverage in things like Knockoff or Sucker Punch if it's slower, and Low Kicks is the GOAT at leaving no survivors.
Maybe.
Look, Low Kicks might just be one of the scariest bug types right now, and a first impression for this thing is absolutely nothing to play with. It does way more than you'd ever expect, and this thing is just insane to use. If you're into this kind of thing, consider hitting that subscribe button. I'm on my way to 400K. I'd love to have you as part of the journey. And with that, let's go ahead and jump into the match. All right, so my opponent decides to lead off with the Tinkaton. This thing just comes out here slinging hammer, and I'm not really that afraid of it as I have a slug. So I know that I'm defensive. This thing can't really touch me, but if it's a lead Tink, it's probably here to just kind of set up some stealth rock, and of course that's what we're going to do as well. The fun and frightening thing about Tinkaton is that it can be ran a couple different ways. As this one goes to the Stealth Rock, it's going to be more of kind of just a support lead one. It could potentially be Swords Dance. It could be Screens. Things got a couple different options. But we just go ahead and trade Stealth Rock there at this point. I realized I don't really have a reason to switch here. I have the coverage with the Earth Power. I also know that I don't really take much damage from this. But they actually just end up going for the Encore. They like to Stealth Rock so much that they make me do it again. And of course, that basically is going to force me out of here with the Gastrodon. So, obviously, the best thing this thing can do is go for a Gigaton Hammer. And I have one little Lego fella who doesn't really care about that. And we're here for a couple different reasons. First of all, to be just a little guy. That's the one thing we actually do best. But also, I want to get up that electric terrain. It's going to stop things being put to sleep. It's going to boost some electric damage from things like my Magnezone. But also, I'm here to set up some spikes. I want to try to prioritize getting up as many hazards as possible, because it looks like they don't have the greatest hazard control. So, they actually end up going for the knockoff there. It does get rid of my terrain extender, but we've already got the train up anyway. At this point, I'm just going to go ahead and lay down some spikes. Now, they do actually go for the Gigaton hammer, and he's not going to do much.
Well,
Probably hurts the hammer there a little bit. Extra spike, like step on the Legos in the middle of the damn night in the hallway. And it's pretty bad.
Okay.
So I just decided to lay down a second layer of spikes because that continuous damage to punish switches is going to be pretty valuable, and also putting things in range from things like my low kicks to just knock stuff out with first impression even easier. So they now decide to bring in the Iron Boulder, who is in fact very scary. First of all, because it actually gets a free Quark Drive because of my electric terrain, which is kind of just annoying for me. But also, I probably just die to this thing, and I also don't have the greatest amount of switch-ins to it. So I just decided, I'm like, you know what, I've got 2 layers of spikes. I've got my terrain up. This is kind of fine. I'm going to go for a memento and just go ahead and off myself. But it turns out they're actually going to go for the Swords Dance there. So luckily, I'm kind of able to negate the boost there a bit and at least make this thing a little less of a threat. It's very fast. It has a boost for energy speed, or at least it has a Quark Drive speed. And this thing is frightening. So one thing we do know for certain is that low kicks is not afraid of shit. I can go into the low kicks here mostly just because I have the super effective first impression. Most of the time, you don't even need the super effective hit on this foe. It just does so much damage. However, I can essentially force this thing out, and that's why low kicks is so great at stopping potential setups. It doesn't matter how fast they are. With that first impression, we can just guarantee huge damage here. So they're actually going to switch back into the Tinkaton, which is just my best play to go for that first impression, just to cover for if they stay in. But also, it has to come in. It takes that spikes damage along with the stealth rock, and the first impression is still going to do a nice little chunk there, even with the resistant hit. So the good thing about having low kicks, with the silver powdered item, is that it kind of bluffs the choice band. And while they can see the damage, I just realized it's my best interest just to go for a nice little U-turn here. It gets another chunk, and while it's not doing a whole lot to this thing, what it does is it puts it in range to where the next times it switches in, it can no longer be a check to the low kicks. So main thing I want to prioritize is keeping good health on low kicks, as I'm not heavy duty boots. I obviously have to come in and take the stealth rock chip every time, which does do a significant amount. But just getting rid of all their answers to low kicks is kind of one thing I'm trying to prioritize. So they go for the knockoff as I switch into the Gastrodon. Now, funny thing about this Gastrodon, I am actually sticky hold with the Rocky Helmet. So funny part is the sticky hold doesn't work when this thing has mold breakers. So it's like the first match I've had with sticky hold trying to just switch into knockoffs, and it just doesn't work because of the damn mold breaker. So I can at least, however, go for that Earth Power. They decide to just stay in here and go for a Gigaton Hammer just to get as much value as they can out of the Tinkaton, as it's not really going to be switching into easily and stuff. And that's going to take care of the Tinkaton, which is good to see gone. So bad thing is they now have the ability to switch into whatever they like, and they decide to bring in this girl. And they're actually going to end up going for the victory dance with the old clogs over there. Going to be dancing up a storm on the freaking lemonade on the
whoa. I just noticed it. Is that the one from Legends Arceus? I can't think of the name of the Pokemon, but that Pokemon is so unique.
Ice coverage on this Gastrodon is super
Because it's like I like the other version, the Lolan one.
I get some really good chip there, and then I realize I don't have much that wants to switch into this. So I just decided to let Gastrodon go down here. I just realized probably.
I didn't know you can get. That makes me want to play Legends Arceus. I don't really like Legends Arceus. I play it, but it's like it's not my cup of tea. So. How do you switch those over? I'd like to learn how to do that. Learning how all this works.
We're just out here trying to make a good first impression. So I just go ahead and stand on my crazy saw legs, and that takes care of it. So that's a big setup sweeper out of the way. That thing could have been a massive problem. But what's also a damn massive, even bigger problem is freaking Raging Bull. So the good thing is it comes in, it takes considerable damage from those hazards. And obviously, low kicks looks super nice for me in this late game. So I do want to switch this thing out. And I do have one dude with an assault vest who's kind of my best answer to handle this thing. As I know it's
where do you get the assault vest from?
I decided to bring in the Pheasantipity. So I'm super specially defensive. Turns out they're actually going to end up going for the Volt Switch. Does do a nice little chunk of damage. I'm thinking, is that Specs? I can't actually be sure, but what I do know is that thing has to come back in, and it's going to be at like 50% health the next time it comes in. So
you Pheasant, huh?
Allows them to go into a different.
I really like that Pokemon.
Future Paradox Fella. who does come in and gets that Quark Drive activated. Actually, he's going to be booster energy the first time.
I always catch Pidev. Is it Pidev?
This time it
Pidev.
does actually end up using that booster energy.
Pidev. I don't know how to say its name. The pre-evolution of that.
I don't have anything to
The dove like Pokemon where it's like I like catching that in like Sword and Shield. It's very fun. I always call it Cool Dove. Cool Dove with COO Dove. Cool Dove. You know, it's pretty cool. I'm up to 10 minutes now. I wish he'd win this battle. You're gonna win. I mean, you got like a split chance to win.
Go ahead and predict the switch, however, because they do have the Ceruledge in the back.
Ceruledge. Like you knew his team, so like why couldn't you plan for it?
As this thing does come in,
see, I would have planned for his team. I would have gave him some surprises, so he could see my team. But it's like you're not knowing what I'm going to come at you with. I would be one of those people like you wouldn't know what I'm coming at you with. Of course, I'm not strategic anyways. I'm more of a blunt kind of. When it comes to training in Pokemon, I'm more of a blunt trainer. I train like with hardcore, straight up physical moves. Or like I guess they're special, but like like hard hitting moves. I don't like strategies. Like I can come up with some sick strategies though. Like especially like mid fight. I like using like items like Sleep Seed and stuff. But like
here's the situation. It's going to come down to a very close game. They have 2 Mons left. They have the
I'm wondering why did you have like any like special lowering moves?
After that hazard damage, a Sucker Punch should actually
we need a hazard sleeper for all the guys that keep putting up hazards. He just wiped him out.
He's going on a tear never seen before. Here's where it gets super interesting. So
what do you have now?
The Iron Boulder in this thing is obviously faster than me, and it just easily takes care
that thing looks scary.
But they also know that I have the Sucker Punch option.
Where did you even get that from?
Because it's like it forces them to go for that sword stance.
I don't even know where to begin with stuff like that. I imagine because I'm still in the midst of completing my playthrough. And the thing is, I have Pokemon that are good, but like I'm thinking I have to get like I have plenty of strong Pokemon like Sensei. Sensei is a Turtle that has really strong like fire moves. It has flamethrower and stuff, but it also has like protect, which is like it defends against anything that comes at it. I named it Sensei because I wanted to have like a Ninja Turtle like character, but I thought Sensei Turtle.
Because this thing is fast as hell, just aerodynamic, so that does take care of the Gengar, but that's exactly what we wanted to happen. Because knowing exactly how much I take from Stealth Rock is extremely valuable, and that knowing I can come in here and live. Jiminy comes in back one more time, and I get knocked down to 2 HP. And at this point, all I need to do is get off that
60 move time. Wait, they have a timer on the move set? Is that like how long you chance till you can do the move, or do you have like 60 minutes to like decide what you're gonna do?
Second of all, if you are enjoying the video,
so like can you like mess up and not like be able to attack?
It only takes you a second, and it just helps out the channel, so definitely click that. But also, let's see if we can get the low kicks to go crazy once more. Alright, so this time my opponent is going to go ahead and lead off with the Buff Kitty Cat. They lead Incineroar, which is kind of fun. I just have a Snail.